basic training here at the Connecticut Police Academy. Chief Brodigan has over 30 years of law enforcement experience, holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Police Administration from the University of New Haven, and is a graduate of the FBI National Academy, Quantico, Virginia, the Babson School of Management in Boston, and the Manchester Community College. Chief Brodigan.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the Connecticut Police Academy. Our ceremonies tonight honoring the graduates of the 263rd training session. Tonight I'd like to just take a few minutes to offer our graduates some parting advice. My first advice comes in the form of a fable. A fable about a young bird who wouldn't go south for the winter. It seems that the older of the veteran birds advised them that it was time to head south. The young bird, or rookie bird, decided he wasn't going to fly south for the winter. You might make an analogy here between the veteran police officers and young officers just out of the academy. But it seems that the young bird, probably an upstart, just out of the nest, decided he wouldn't fly south. He felt that why should he go south for the winter? Just because it was always done that way, there's no reason for him to do it. He wasn't going to follow the crowd, and he felt there was too much emphasis that was placed on tradition. Besides, it was warm, there was plenty of food, there was no need to go anywhere. So long about the end of October, it began to get cold. The young bird began to rethink his position. He thought maybe there was some value to tradition. Maybe the old-timers, the veterans, knew what they're talking about. So he decided that he would fly south. As he went, it began to get colder and colder. It began to snow. Ice began to form on his wings. His wings got so heavy, he couldn't fly any longer. So he decided to land. He landed in the middle of a cow pasture. He was tired. He was freezing. He thought he was surely going to die. About that time, a cow came through the pasture, deposited a large pile of manure on top of him. Lo and behold, the manure was warm. The ice on his wings began to melt. He could feel the life beginning to come back into his frozen body. This made him so happy, he began to sing. Well, a cat heard the singing, came along, uncovered him, and promptly devoured him. I think there's three things that our new recruits can glean from this story. Number one, not all of those who defecate on you are your enemies. Number two, those who profess to get you out of defecation are not necessarily your friends. And number three, if you're happy and you're content in the defecation, sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. I use that story tonight because I really wanted to use it to highlight the advice that I would like to leave you with. And you're going to find that once you leave here tonight, you'll be getting advice. Advice from friends, advice from your family, advice from brother officers, what to do, what not to do, who to talk to, who not to talk to. You'll get some good advice. You'll get some bad advice. The main veteran that gave me this advice over 30 years ago when I joined the Norwich Police Department. He called me to one side in the locker room and he said, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. Everything you do, all of your actions and all of your words as a police officer should come from here. And when it no longer comes from here, it's time to look for another line of work. I don't think I ever received better advice. If you heed it, you let it guide your words and your actions, you should never go wrong. You should never become an embarrassment to yourself, to your department, or to the profession. Thank you. God bless you and your families.
Graduates, and most importantly, graduates of the 263rd session. Certainly my pleasure to be with you this evening as you complete this phase of your police basic training program. I bring you the sincerest congratulations and best wishes of all members of Connecticut's Police Officer Standards and Training Council. The council is a 19-member body, for the most part appointed by the governor, that oversees police employment and training in Connecticut. It's a very prestigious body, and seats on it are sought by many more people than can possibly be appointed. As elected officials, law enforcement officials, professional educators, trainers, 5 members of the general public. The very existence of this basic training program, indeed the very existence of this academy building, is the direct result of the vision, forward-thinking, planning, and dedicated effort of men and women just like these professional people that it is my honor to serve. This program is the product of all their efforts and our staff to prepare you, the graduates, for the challenge you now go out to face. As you graduate from this program tonight, you are as well, if not better qualified than most of the other police recruits who have graduated in the past and who are out there now. But I want to emphasize one thing to you graduates here, and I want the families to understand that. You graduate tonight as well-trained police recruits, not as well-trained police officers. You have a long way to go. Anybody who says that tonight you complete your training program is wrong. I want to say to you and emphasize that today you finish basic training, and simultaneously you start what perhaps is the most valid training program of all, the day-to-day performance of the duties of police officer. You must learn from each and every experience. You heard Lieutenant Hall there say I've been in this business for 39 years. That's probably a little too long, but I want to tell you that the greatest single element of this profession of ours is the fact that each and every day it gives those who participate in it actively a new learning experience. And if you're smart enough to take advantage of it, you'll learn from it and become a better police officer every single day. I don't think there's a day that's gone by that I haven't been able to say, well, I've been around here. So, keep examining every experience for what you can get from it. Take every promotional test. Seek every difficult assignment. Seek every training class you can get. Beware of thinking that you know even most of it. At the end of 20 years, be able to say that you are skilled because you've learned from that 20 years. Don't let 20 years experience become 1 year's experience repeated 20 times. Make developing a good reputation as a good, hard-working, honest, strict, but fair cop your #1 professional priority. If you do that, and you keep your badge clean and shine without tarnish, when you get to the end of your career, you can look back on it with pride and satisfaction. In celebrating what we celebrate tonight, I'm going to ask you all to take a minute of your time and think. When you came in here, the sun was still shining. Perhaps it wasn't bright, but off in the far corner of the parking lot, there's a memorial to the fallen law enforcement officers who have been killed or lost their lives in the line of duty in the state of Connecticut. I would like you to take a moment, if you would, to walk over there, walk through it. I think it's probably the nicest memorial in America, and I think it means something. I know it means something to the families. The blue light that was just added about a week ago, in fact, it's being dedicated tomorrow night. Take a moment and just reflect on it. Somebody said in the newspaper today, a political figure said in the newspaper today, I think we need more policemen today that know how to lose a fight. I don't agree with that. There's 117 people out there that lost a fight, and I don't want to see any more losing. A little bit of humor. Most of these people came to us with good family principles that you as family mothers and fathers taught them? The only thing I can say is we had to work real hard on the bed-making part. But don't let any of them come home and tell you now they don't know how to make a bed, because every single day the quarter gets bounced on it, so mothers pay attention. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'll close by simply saying to these officers, good luck, God bless you, and be careful out there. Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel William T. McGuire is the acting commissioner of the Department of Public Safety. Lieutenant Colonel McGuire is the son of William T. McGuire, a 28-year veteran of police officer of the Bridgeport Police Department. Colonel McGuire began his career with the Connecticut State Police in 1977. Prior to his joining the Connecticut State Police, he served as a Trumbull police officer for 3 years. Colonel McGuire was appointed to his current rank of Lieutenant Colonel in 1995. Since that time, has been commanding officer of the Department's Office of Field Operations and the Department's Executive Officer. Lieutenant McGuire has had distinguished career and is the recipient of 3 formal department citations for meritorious service and outstanding police service. On August 5th, 1997, the Honorable John G. Rowland, Governor of the state of Connecticut, announced the appointment of Lieutenant Colonel McGuire as the acting commissioner of the Department of Public Safety. Colonel McGuire.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Chief Knapp, Chief Braun, Chief Fawnin, Chaplain, other distinguished guests, friends and family, and fellow police officers that are in attendance tonight, and most importantly, the graduates themselves. It's certainly my honor tonight and privilege to have been invited to these ceremonious events of the graduation ceremony. I want to congratulate each graduate for successfully completing an outstanding program, as well as offer my best wishes that each of you enjoy successful and rewarding a career in law enforcement. During your weeks of training at the Academy, you have acquired the essential knowledge and developed the critical skills and abilities that are necessary for you to function effectively in your future career. These include criminal and accident investigations, laws of arrest, search and seizure, crash injury management, patrol techniques, and officer survival skills. However, some very important tools that you will need to perform your duties were not and cannot be provided through training. These tools include public trust, support, and confidence. In our effort to control crime and to provide for the safety of the public, an effective police force must rely heavily on a climate of positive police-community relations and understanding. This cooperative atmosphere is not attained by high-powered public relations programs or by advanced crime-fighting technology. Rather, it is achieved by professional, ethical, compassionate, and understanding conduct by each and every member of the police profession in their day-to-day activities. It is at this level that the public forms its opinion of the quality of police services in the community. Thus, each of you bear an awesome responsibility whenever you are involved in the delivery of such police services. Every time you have contact with a citizen, you are either contributing or detracting from your department's public image. If you are an officer who makes positive contributions to this image, the mission will be easier to achieve, and the public will be more willing to support your efforts. It's very simple, and it's entirely up to you.
The training you have received and the experience and training that you will continue to gather throughout your career will only be as effective as the degree to which the public accepts you in your role as a law enforcement officer. The instruction that you have just completed has provided the basics. Now you must consider the human dimension, and each of you must provide that perspective. On behalf of the men and women of the Connecticut State Police, I congratulate you. I give you best wishes for a long, safe, successful, and honorable career. Congratulations, men and women.
Thank you, Colonel Moore. Representing the Federal Bureau of Investigation this evening is Supervisory Special Agent Robert J. Crispino. Supervisory Special Agent Crispino possesses a Bachelor's of Science degree in biology from Penn State.
Actually to represent the federal law enforcement community and the FBI, welcoming this fine class of graduates into the new family that is the law enforcement family in this country. It's a very difficult thing to consider, but as proud as you all are of them, they are of you. You're all partners in this new family, in this new community. And that's something that was kind of new to me. As Lieutenant Hall pointed out, my wife is an agent. It didn't hit me just how difficult your job is as moms and dads and husbands and wives of police officers until I realized the fact that I'm the spouse of a police officer. I'm the spouse of a law enforcement officer. 7 years ago, I was assigned to FBI headquarters in an administrative task, organized crime section, paperwork, desk jockey kind of stuff. And 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife wakes up and she's putting on bulletproof vest because she's going out, even though she's a white-collar crime investigator, on a drug raid to arrest some people in the District of Columbia in a cooperative task force kind of effort. And that's the first time it hit me, and that chill went down that spine. She's leaving the house to go and do the street work, and in about 4 hours, I'll eventually get into work and sit by a desk and move paper back and forth. Your job is just as difficult as their job, and they depend on you as much as you are proud and depend on them to do a fine job for this community. So I'm congratulating you all for a very fine accomplishment today. And I'm welcoming these graduates into the family that is law enforcement. It's just as sometimes you might think dysfunctional, but it's just as functional as your own family. When you have problems, you'll have a partner that you'll be as close to as a husband or a wife. You will sometimes be frustrated at things that occur, but your exchange of ideas and your exchange of values is what makes the job continue. It makes the job go forward. The challenge right now that faces you as young officers, not only in the state of Connecticut, but here in the United States, is an awesome challenge. There are very sophisticated criminal enterprises that exist in this state. I know because my agents investigate La Cosa Nostra and Russian mafia and Asian criminal enterprises and a whole slew of core drug trafficking groups that are plaguing the community. And we learned one valuable lesson, and that valuable lesson is we can't do it by ourselves. There's no way that the FBI or DEA or ATF or the Connecticut State Police or any police department can address this problem alone. The only way we address this problem is together. We bring different things to the table in a cooperative setting. It took us many years to come to that idea, which seems elementary, but it took years to come to that. But it's in place in the state of Connecticut, I'll tell you that. It's alive and it's well in the state of Connecticut. We work very closely with local police departments. We work hand in hand with the Connecticut State Police in many different task forces throughout the state, Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, and London. And we've been very successful. The rewards are great, but the challenge remains awesome. It's a very trite saying that's been used quite a lot, but you guys represent what's called the thin blue line. And that thin blue line is between It's what makes us a civilized people. It's what keeps us from becoming animals. It provides order, and it provides a rule of law, and it provides the beckoning of justice. And it's because of that that we get up every morning and we do our jobs, and we put on our guns, and we put on our vests, and we go out each day. And thank God we come back each day safely, because that's the most important thing. So again, on behalf of the entire law enforcement community, I welcome you. It'll be a real pleasure and a privilege, I know, for me and for my agents to work with you all in the future. Thank you for the opportunity.
I was first chosen to address you tonight. I was somewhat excited. However, as I thought more and more about it, I became nervous. Not nervous of standing in front of 400 or so people, or possibly tripping as I came up to the podium, but more so nervous about the speech in general. This speech is not my speech. This speech is theirs, and I was simply chosen to convey it to you. Tonight before you, you see 36 individuals, but for the past 16 weeks, the 36 of us were together as one. We walked together, we learned together, we worked together. We also played together and laughed together. Together, we are the 263rd. However, after tonight, we will no longer be together, physically together. However, I believe that the contacts and the friendships that we have cultivated over the past 4 months will last a lifetime. And in that sense, the 263rd will always be together, mentally together. We on a whole have had an experience that very few will be able to enjoy. I'm sure that each and every one of us has counted the days to graduation, but when we look back on it, on these past few months, I believe that we'll see this as a positive experience. An experience that would not have been the same if it wasn't for our class coordinators, Lieutenant Allard and Mr. Noonan. We as a class thank you both. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Chief Knapp, Chief Brodigan, and all of our other instructors, Lieutenant Pfeiffer, Lieutenant Hall, Lieutenant Oakes, Miss Maish, Mr. Doran, Miss Pasquariello, Mr. Fredericks, and Mr. Tomasetti. And last but not least, Mr. Wilcox as well. They all conveyed their experience and their knowledge to us in a way that only few could, and for that we thank them. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to call our class sergeant, Michelle Neary, to stand beside me. Our class has had the fortune of having two of the best class coordinators, Lieutenant Reginald Allard Jr. and Mr. James E. Noonan. These two co-coordinators have been responsible for everything that our class has done. Everything from the day we drove up the driveway for the first time to today, tonight. In appreciation for their dedication, their training, and their experience that they have given all of us, we, the class of 263rd, would like to present each of them with a plaque and a small gift as a thank you for all that they have done and all that they have given to us. Lieutenant Allard, Mr. Noonan. Again, on behalf of the 263rd, we thank you. We appreciate what you've conveyed to us. And I must also say that I'm honored to have been a part of the Connecticut Police Academy's 263rd class. May we all stay together, mentally together. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Yeah. Sapola, Bridgeport Harbor Master. Officer Daniel H. Estee, Weathersfield Police Department. Officer Christopher N. Fiore, Coventry Police Department. Officer Jose M. Garcia, Newington Police Department. Officer Eric Anthony Judas, Plainfield Police Department. Officer Mary Canfield, West Haven Police Department, will present the diploma to her cousin, Officer Robin Hunt, Brantford Police Department. Officer Daniel S. Jaramillo, the London Police Department. Officer Robert C. Lanza, Waterbury Housing Police Department. Officer Douglas Lecco, Department of Motor Vehicle, Police Department. Officer Robert Lee Mago, Bristol Police Department. Officer Robert A. Markham, Western Connecticut State University Police Department. Officer Damian G. Martin, Enfield Police Department.
Don't smile so much.
Officer Gregory C. McCarty, Waterbury Police Department. Officer Angel M. Melendez, Waterbury Housing
Entirely
Police
deserved.
Department. Sergeant Joseph Zanowitz, Berlin Police Department, will present the diploma to his niece, Officer Christine Morin, Windsor Police Department. Officer Tammy Marie Murray, West Haven Police Department. Officer Robert Andrew Murtha, East Hartford Police Department.
I'd like to congratulate them on behalf of the Connecticut Chiefs of Police Association for the successful completion of this basic training program. Each one belongs to a police department headed by a chief who is represented in the organization. They're about to embark on a career in law enforcement, and if you listen to the town hall and his bibliography of me, it mentioned my tour in internal affairs. The town hall loves to mention it. You're going to have many trials and tribulations out there. You're going to have many temptations. I only ask that you remember who you are, what you are, and what you've been taught. You're entering the most honorable of professions. You're on the side of the angels. As one of the previous speakers mentioned, you give us civilization. But you must represent civilization. You must represent integrity. You must represent honesty. There's no bad guy out there, however big or small he is, that's worth your integrity. Remember that. There's no case to be made, there's no arrest, there's no seizure that you will lie or deceive to make that. Nor will there ever be a situation that you'll be forgiven for doing something immoral or illegal for your own personal gain. You don't have to pick up the newspapers and read what happened in a very large metropolitan city, the largest in the world just recently, when police officers forgot who they were and what their job was. We're there to protect the people. That's your job, and I will give you the oath of office after these presentations. You are sworn to protect the public. Remember that. Serve them, protect them. Remember who you are, what you are, where you came from, and what you do. It's going to be one of the greatest experiences of your life. Law enforcement can be so exciting and interesting and challenging. Every day is a different. Samuel Luciano was the police chief in Westport, Connecticut, who was one of the original driving forces in building this academy. The academy was built in 1971. They sealed it, because somebody's going to seal it. And let's keep it a secret, right up to the end. Even though I'm the chief of police in Clinton, I reside in the city of West Haven, and it's a great pleasure that I present this award to Officer Tammy M. Murray of the West Haven Police Department. Officer Murray obtained an academic average of 96.13. As a former commandant of training, it's a very difficult average to obtain. I congratulate her and issue the Samuel Luciano Award. Thank you very much.
Chief wanted to get even with me. It hid my notes saying he couldn't open an envelope. Trooper First Class Alan J. Tuskowski was a 15-year veteran of the Connecticut State Police Department. He served the Academy staff for 9 years. On June 2nd, 1983, he was stricken with a fatal heart attack at the age of 38 while at the Academy. In Alan's memory, the training staff of the Academy established the Alan J. Tuskowski Excellence in Training Award. Traditionally, police academies have recognized only those trainees who have achieved the highest academic average and those who fire the highest firearms score. While these are significant training areas and should continue to be recognized separately, the Police Officer Standards and Training Council, in conjunction with the Connecticut State Police Academy, felt that other equally important training areas also needed to be recognized. Therefore, in determining the recipient of the Tuskowski Award, trainees are also rated in such practical police disciplines as patrol driving and physical fitness. In addition, a peer rating has been added, whereby trainees rate each other as to their potential to become an outstanding police officer. The composite score of these 5 areas, academic average, firearm score, patrol driving, physical fitness, and peer rating, is used to determine the recipient of the Tuskowski Award. On behalf of the Connecticut State Police, it's truly my honor to award the Alan J. Tuskowski Excellence in Training Award to this evening's recipient, Officer Robert A. Murtha from the East Hartford Police Department.
Good evening. I'll just give a brief, which is not like me, but I'll give a brief statement on what the shooting awards are about. You have an opportunity, after a short period of training, to fire 3 perfect scores out of 4 chances. Not an easy task, certainly challenging. The course is challenging. And tonight we had 3 persons in this class that successfully accomplished that. First is Jonathan A. Hazelton of the Torrington Police Department. I get money for that. The second award goes to Jose M. Garcia of the Newington Police Department. And the third award goes to Paul F. Osella of the Yukon Police Department. Should have said the University of Chris when Mr. Allard was talking about fertilizing grass and the way they came in here, but he stayed on the platform long enough to keep that clear. I don't think we put any fertilizer on them. But then again, each class comes in with a different personality. I've said that a bunch of times, and I've got some questions. What do you mean by that? What do you mean they have a different personality? They all come in with a little personality of their own. Some you don't know they were here. Some you'll never forget. They started out 43 strong and ended up with 36, so it was a trying time in some ways. But the 36 that are standing there did a good job. They have a great sense of humor. It worries me. A lot. They assured me that they can make beds now and clean their rooms, but they're going to have coffee cups all over the cruisers. Not all of them, of course, because some of them reminded me they're in the generation of bottled water. They were a good class. I really enjoyed them. We had a lot of fun. There were separate groups in there that did some unique things here. We had people that had an interesting new twist to our diet concepts. Rather than eat the cafeteria food, they sat out in the parking lot chewing on candy bars and telling me how healthy they were. I was going to give some special awards tonight, but then I thought I might get fired, so I'm going to skip that. I had a Cone Award. I had a Mouth Award. I had a Cheech and Chong Award. And there were a few others I'm going to skip because they were a good group. I really enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun. They have a good sense of humor, as you people really know, because you're always with them. And a good sense of humor in police work, I think, is just as important as taking that serious line with you. You got to have both out there, and this crowd's certainly going to have both. I congratulate you. I wish you the best of luck.
This time I'd like to ask Chief Cronin if he would please administer the oath of office at the 263rd training session.
As soon as I find the oath of office. I will faithfully discharge according to law. My duties to the best of my ability. So help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the police officers of the 263rd training class.